Rahman Rahim. I want to say first that I'm really privileged to be invited to this distinguished conference, which is hosted by such a great and pioneering university. The project I'm going to talk about is sponsored by the UNDP RBAS, the Regional Bureau of Arab States of the United Nations Development Program. The title, Enhancement of Quality Assurance and Institutional Planning in Arab Universities. The project was launched in January 2002. It finished a first phase in June 2000, after 30 months, 2004. Started a new phase in June 2005, and this new phase is 42 months, for 3.5 years. The aims of the project are very simple: to work in voluntary partnership with Arab universities, to introduce, implement, demonstrate on a pilot regional scale and in real academic time 3 independent instruments of quality assurance and enhancement. So the project moves on 3 parallel tracks: evaluation of academic programs, this is by internal and external evaluation; administration of international tests to evaluate the performance of the students of the reviewed programs; and then the third one is development of a statistical database for the universities, all in accordance with common specifications and definitions. So what this pilot project tries to do is to address each university at 3 levels: the program level, the program level, the student level, and the central planning level of the university. Let's go back to the end now and see what has the project achieved so far. In terms of program evaluation, in a first cycle, it reviewed computer science programs in 15 Arab universities. In a second cycle, reviewed business administration programs in 16 universities. And in a third cycle, it reviewed education programs in 24 Arab universities. In student testing, there was also cycles, but according to language. In first cycle, students of computer science and business administration were tested in English because they are taught in English. In a second cycle, the students who are taught in Arabic and French, they were tested in Arabic and French. And in the third cycle, the students of education were tested mainly in Arabic, because education is mainly taught in Arabic, with some in English. This is a pilot test for 750 students. So altogether, 788 students, 921, and something like 2,000 students, senior students, were tested in the course of the project. The participation, we have in the first phase 29 universities, 23 public and 6 private. And in the second one, the number increased to 36 universities. The countries who are participating are 14 countries, as listed below. The only countries which are not part of the project, we have, I think, Tunisia, Libya, Iraq, and Kuwait. These are the ones who have not yet joined the project. The way the project is organized is, because this is the UNDP RBAS project, the project management is in Amman, Jordan, and it deals directly with the participating universities. The supervision is UNDP RBAS in New York. There's an advisory board for the project. And then UNOPS, that's the United Nations Office of Project Services. They do all the financial and personnel administration, all the transactions. And then you have the country offices. We have the country offices in each Arab country. There's a UNDP country office who provide logistical support, providing travel arrangement and all the things that the project needs. I must say that the idea for this project and the pilot for it originated in Jordan with the Hussein Fund for Excellence, where I had the privilege of working with them for a year, where we organized the review of computer science programs in 10 the 10 leading Jordanian universities. That was in 2001, and 2002 we took this program this project to the region. If we start with the evaluation program, that's the flagship component of the project, the first component. I will talk very briefly about the results and so on, because there are so many details. But if you took the review cycle of program, if you review program, the cycle consists of 3 stages. You have self-evaluation, then external evaluation, and then we have reporting. The duration of the cycle is about 15 months. And the aspects that they review in each program are academic standards, learning opportunities, and internal mechanisms for quality assurance and enhancement within the program. Of course, these aspects are divided into academic standards, for example, is based on 4 major aspects. Quality of learning opportunities has 3 major aspects. So altogether, we have 8 aspects of each program that are evaluated. And there is a judgment on each aspect, which is either good, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. The outputs of the review cycle will be a very detailed report that goes in confidence to the university, plus an overview report that goes to the region. So far, we have produced an overview report on computer science and business administration. And now, before the end of this year, we'll produce one on education, which is a regional report on teaching education in the Arab region. The model, we started from an advanced point, the quality assurance model in the UK, but we did a good number of adaptations. Probably the main adaptation we did was we added some annexes. We didn't really change the rigor, the core of the model, but we made it adaptable to the region in many ways. One of them is we insisted on amplified reporting, in the sense that there is not only judgments on one of the main aspects, but the sub-aspects that lead to this main aspect, there will be also judgments. And that gave us, in the end, instead of just 8 judgments on each program, we had a list of indicators, special indicators, which address special issues within the program. This is the cycle. It's about 12 to 15 months, usually. There are 3 workshops, as you see. And there are processes in between. For example, the first workshop is followed by self-evaluation and preparation of self-evaluation documents. There will be a lot of advisory support during that period. Then there is another workshop to review progress. And then that will finalize the SED preparation. And there's a third workshop where there's training on external reviewing. So after going through the self-evaluation, the academics are trained on how to act as external reviewers. And this is a very important workshop, the third one, because by its end, we select from them those who we think, or the trainers, the group of tutors, believe they are qualified to do external reviewing. And out of the whole process, if you take the 3 cycles, we have something like 110 academics participating. And out of them, 72 were selected. And these 72, each one of them participated in every aspect of the cycle, from self-evaluation, preparation of self-evaluation documents, to hosting a review mission to their program, to participating in a review mission as an external peer reviewer in another country, in a university in another country. So we now have a cohort of about 72 people who we believe are fully trained on the methodology of self-evaluation. They use the same language, the same experiences, and so on and so forth. So this is really, the project is about capacity building. It's trying to build the skills and knowledge of self-evaluation and external evaluation within the universities themselves by investing in the academics themselves. Um, here, there's something wrong. Anyway. Yeah, I think, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with the, yeah. I will just show, this is mine, is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't have the, I think I need to use the, you see, you didn't copy all the things on it, just, is it here, is it? Oh, that, yeah. Let's open it on this one. Sorry, we're losing time here, just here. Where's my computer? Open it on my computer. Yeah. Where's the Ankara visit? Just 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Let me just give you an example of the results. I'm sorry about this loss of time because not all the thing was pasted on the thing. This is the chart which shows, for example, for computer science, the results for computer science. And you could see, for example, that if you talk about academic standards, which is the main thing, you'll find that none of the 15 universities who participated got a good standard. All of them got satisfactory. One of them got unsatisfactory. So there was, we thought there was a gap of quality here between what our universities are doing and what we expect from modern universities. However, the universities varied a lot between themselves on how close they are or how far from reaching that thing. And this can be shown in the other indicators and the other judgments. But there were other messages also. For example, if you look at the academic staff, which are the main resource of learning, we'll find that the reviewers, they found that the staff were, by and large, they were very qualified, very dedicated, and they were very well trained and respected by their students, but there was not enough number of them. In 9 of the 15 universities, there were not enough academic staff, they were found. Other messages, for example, in the libraries, they found that in 11 of the 15 universities, the library resources were not really sufficient. And so was that's the library, 11 of the universities, the internet in 6 of the universities. So there were messages here going not just to academics themselves, but to the decision makers and managers that not enough resources are really being expended in building the learning environment for the students. I'll move now quickly to the next if you take student testing, here we chose the major field test of the educational testing services in the United States. It's a multiple choice test. Its topics are published and periodically upgraded. It claims to represent the core topics of knowledge and skills that any graduate of that field should be able to have, regardless of where he is studying or she is studying. And in addition, the ETS provide very good statistical analysis of the results, not only for the university, participating university, but for the international group of students, so you can compare your performance with those of the other universities. Let's look here at some of the, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the, just 1 second. If you look at the computer science results, now these are the senior students of the same programs that they were evaluated. And you could see here that the distribution of grades for the students were by and large, normal. They were reasonable. There was some depletion in the A+ and A grade. There was depletion. Instead of 20% of the students being in the A+ and the A grade, there's only 6%. So that's another manifestation of the gap. Our A students are not being enabled to deliver A performance. And so this is where we are, I think, with regard to the, if you look, this is for computer science, and please note that these are producing these results in spite of all the handicaps, the lack of resources, the lack of staff, and libraries, and so on and so forth. And they are not really very far from reaching an international average of performance in this way. If you look at the business administration results, this is a very shocking result here. These are people who are taught in English, just like computer science. But the results, the performance is really very, very much lower than those of computer science. And this was puzzling because they study in English. The reviewers found the programs to be doing just as well as the computer science programs. But the test showed a completely different result. 50% of the students were doing F there. And that raises questions. Maybe business administration should not be taught in English for students in universities whose culture is Arabic, where everything is done in Arabic, and you ask the students to do subject like business, which is very sensitive to language, to teach it in English. Or maybe the way business is taught in Arab universities is not really demanding on the students. They are just based on, oriented towards knowledge and not towards application of knowledge. So these things have to be really discussed and understood by the universities themselves, and to think twice before they plan their programs and so on. Now I will go directly, if the chairman will allow me just 3 minutes, I will go directly to the statistical database to show you some of the results we got from the statistical database. And this was done for 15 universities. We did this database, regional database, with the participation of 15 universities. And there, for example, you could see that the 15 universities, they vary in size between 106,000 students in one university to 1,000 students in another university. The average is about 32,000 students per university compared to 13,000 in the UK. You find that the growth over 1 year was 7.4%, but in private universities, 4 of these are private, the growth of the private universities was 22%, the growth of the public universities was 6.6%. The average growth in the UK is about 5%. Then we go by the level of education. We find that in this sample of Arab universities, 83% are in first degree, registered in first degree. Only 11% are in sub-degree courses, and only 6% in postgraduate courses. Only 6%. This, I think, is another manifestation of what Professor Badran was saying yesterday. This is just looking with a zooming on 15 universities, and look what goes on inside. In the UK, you have 22% who are doing postgraduate studies. Another important thing is that only 1% of the students are part-time. All of the students are full-time. And that shows the inflexibility of the systems. There's no short courses. There are no people who come on the job and take without having to go to degrees and so on. No people who are already working, coming back from their home or from the job place and so on. In the UK, 44% are part-time, which is really part of the lifelong learning, culture, where there's a lot of flexibility there. Just 1 minute. If you look at the gender, you find that the women are doing quite well with regard to, as far as students are concerned. They are 47% now, and in many universities they are more than the 50%. With regard to staff, they are lagging behind, as you would expect. The average now is 19%. And you could see that students now, women staff are increasing at lecturer level and assistant professor level. They are catching up still lower on the associate and professorial level. Age distribution of students. The blue ones are the Arab universities. You see that Arab university students are all young because they are all in first degree. And they are all in first degree and they study at a certain age. When they leave, they have no chance of coming back to universities. If you look at the UK, which is the purple one, you see that people keep studying up to the age of above 50, they are still studying there. If you look at the language of teaching, you find that overall, in the social sciences, 76% of students study in Arabic. In science and engineering, neck and neck, Arabic and English are neck and neck. 42% for Arabic, 39% for English. If you look at the medical sciences, English is leading by 56%, opposed to 33% for Arabic. If you look at the staff-student ratio, student-staff ratio, you find that about in some of the fields here, the top fields, business, social sciences, humanities, and so on, the ratio is quite high compared to the other fields. And when you remember that these fields have the highest share of students, if you do a calculation, you find about 65% of the students in those universities, 15 universities, they don't have enough staff, really. That's what it is. Which shows, again, what Professor Badran said yesterday. There is not enough investment by Arab countries in higher education. And to inform that investment, to increase it, you have to apply quality methods so that you know where you should spend the money, and then you go and spend that money. Just last figure about the expenditure, again, emphasizing the same point. Expenditure per student, it's about between $2,000 and $4,000 in only 4 universities. The rest are less than $2,000. And I think that speaks for itself. Thank you very much.